I am an entrepreneur and an art lover. This is not a paradox. I see both business and art as an extension of imagination, which is why I consider them close cousins. And this is why I am in love with solitude. First, let me draw some parallels between art and business. The foremost commonality is stepping into uncharted territory. Even when a master artist such as Kalamandalam Gobi, one of the pillars of vibrant dance form Kathakali, steps onto a stage, he is uncertain. He is probably not sure of where the performance is going to take him. No two performances are the same. Here, for Gopi Ashan, the Abhinaya and the Mudras used may be the same, but the expression is always different. As an entrepreneur, I draw inspiration from art. Art is made in solitude. Art is all about soul searching. It is born in tranquility. Every art form is enacted in the pristine geographies of creative self-isolation. It is meditation of another kind. And that's why I believe in the power of art to inspire me as an entrepreneur. It helps me go in search of myself and find myself in unimaginable forms and shapes in that process. Art is a pilgrimage to solitude, which is a common aspect of art and entrepreneurship. A person's perception of art is unique. It belongs to him and only him. No two people see or feel the same thing even if they are watching the same performance or looking at the same painting or sculpture. This uniqueness brings with it a sense of solitude because at that moment, in that feeling, there is only you. Both in art and entrepreneurship, a person is in constant dialogue with himself. Choosing the right investment or investors, rejecting or selecting a business idea, aligning the right processes are all about taking individual decisions. Even if a group of people is sitting together to take a call, each person's choice is his own. Art enables me to shed the outside and dive into myself. The resulting solitude has taught me to talk to myself and understand myself. Over the years, I have learned to listen to my inner voice, and that has helped me tremendously in my entrepreneurship journey. I can cut out the external chaos and be mindful of only what needs to be done. After years, thanks to creativity, I have an on-off switch for the noisy world outside. Human beings are creatures of control. We try to regulate our emotions and actions, but sometimes, just sometimes, our self-built barriers are not strong enough to contain our feelings and ideas. Art is one such universe that forces us to go beyond ourselves. Many people have tried to articulate their need for art. Some have called it more than life, while some have called it the only truth. Picasso once said, "Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life." For me, art is a force that takes my soul and mind away from the normal me. It makes me better. It makes me more complete. In art, I find a different kind of happiness, and I can say the same for entrepreneurship. Over so many centuries, we as human beings have tried to express our emotions in the most beautiful ways possible. Painting, dance, music, drama, sculpture. But even after centuries of pursuing different art forms, we continue to innovate and aspire to new means of expression. Multimedia art, street art, public art, and pop art, for example, are the most modern forms of artistic expression. One of the wonders of art is that the traditional forms coexist with their modern siblings and half-siblings. Etchings on rocks are as awe-inspiring as sculptures and paintings in museums and galleries. In business too, sectors such as artificial intelligence and machine learning coexist with more traditional forms of industry such as mining or shipping. The speed at which technology is evolving is ensuring that we feel its presence in all aspects of our lives, from cooking to entertainment. Being an appreciator of art helps me pause and actually observe the world around me. I observe that in even what many of us might consider as mundane activities. For example, when I stop and really look at the box that is delivered to my house, I am able to appreciate the intensity of technology and organization that was applied in the background to make the delivery possible. I appreciate the fact that the box is made of recycled material and puts in context the role I am playing in preserving the environment. I understand that even as an individual, I have a role to play. Appreciating art helps me open my senses, and this can happen anywhere, in an art gallery, at a friend's house, or a sweet little drawing that a child made. Just as art has no boundaries, entrepreneurship is also limitless and omnipresent. For instance, I admire the enterprising nature of an ad hoc tea stall that pops up on rainy days. It is something like street art, visible at the most unlikely places and unapologetic. So it is not surprising that even local government bodies are trying to incorporate art into public spaces by encouraging and supporting street artists. Street art has painted its niche and has become a widely accepted form of public expression. Its loose fit, flexible, all are invited structure gives it a porous identity in much the same way that startups function. And this is what allows a mind-boggling array of work to come forth. Being an entrepreneur means allowing myself to accept and absorb what may be foreign. Appreciating art enables my sensory receptors to look out for new signals, a skill that any investor will find extremely useful. Understanding art has helped me understand myself, and as an extension of that, understand the ideas that appeals to me. As Lao Tzu said, we shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that makes the vessel useful. Different art forms help me understand my own thoughts, and this helps me not only articulate what I think, but also others' thoughts. Art also inspires me to implement my ideas. Creating art and creating an enterprise are similar, as both mean executing an idea. They are reflections of the same trait, making a mental image come to life. After all, it is a human being who will finally use the products, services, and ideas. An entrepreneur who ignores this fact, does not appreciate its importance, will not go far. Over the years, I have come to realize that we are a sum total of our senses. So, to give wings to our ideas, we must learn to imagine, and what better teacher than art and the realms of solitude it offers. If art is therapy, solitude is the medicine art offers. I get most vocal when I am alone with my art, when I am with myself enjoying art. It could be a book, a film, a Kathakali performance. It doesn't matter whether I am in the middle of 100 like-minded people. Art brings me to my own universe of solitude. This is not a complex process. It is no simple task either. It is like reading the balance sheet of your enterprise. It is like doing a profit and loss analysis. It is time for introspection. In solitude, you take a look back and what's done and what's gone and what's gained. You hear voices there. You hear songs. You hear people. You hear emotions. You see without opening your eyes. You feel without touch. You smell without inhaling. You taste sans a tongue. It is a new world. It is an ecosystem where you meet you, I meet I, and myself meets myself. Art makes that possible through solitude. Here, art becomes being. Solitude becomes the essence of that being. Why do I recommend solitude as the best remedy for most problems dogging the current crop of entrepreneurs? Well, I have 3 reasons. First, let us admit this is a mad world. We have the attention economy, we have the social media, we have motivation overload, and we have an ecosystem of nihilism that every second tells us that we haven't done enough, making us feel we will never be there. What we forget here is a universal fact. We forget to introspect. We inspect, but we don't introspect. We ask ourselves, why don't my ideas work the way I want? But don't ask, so what? Inspection of self tells us to up the pace, but introspection tells us to peace out and then pace up or down as the case be. It's only in solitude you find introspection. My second reason is solitude is your best friend in need. For an entrepreneur, the best advice always comes from within. Solitude is a director board member you have not hired. It is the best VC or PE or angel investor you can always have. It hires you, it grooms you, it mentors you. Solitude never misguides you because it needs you. It is umbilically linked to your existence. It is you. So when I have the feeling of going wrong, when I feel I am not having enough advice, I turn to myself. I sit back in solitude and ask, what next? Trust me, friends, I get my best friendly advice there. Try that. I am stating just the obvious. The third reason why I think solitude is the best remedy for most problems impacting entrepreneurs is that it brings compassion into everything we do. It makes us reflect upon the ideals we stand for, the ideals others stand for, and the ideals we and others must stand for. This gives a sense of purpose to what we do. It makes us more inclusive, it makes us more contemplative, and obviously more compassionate. Is this easy? In this rat race for success and more success, can we do this sustainably? We can. As Albert Einstein put it, solitude is painful when one is young, but delightful when one is more mature. Being in love with solitude is a sign of maturity. It tells you that you are growing happily and wholeheartedly. Thank you for listening to me. Jai Hind.